What's an indescribable pain? Having a tooth infection so bad that it points your other teeth in different directions because of the swelling. Rib pops out of your spine and wedges under your shoulder blade. I wished for death. I have a condition called neurofibromatosis, type 1. My body is filled hundreds of benign tumors that grow on nerve endings. The pain is frequent and sometimes debilitating. Stage 4 metastatic cancer involving lungs, throat, and lymph nodes. Bonus pain from fractured lower spine and concurrent kidney stones. I hate the way fentanyl, OxyContin, and Dilaudid make me feel. Sometimes, I feel that it would be better to put my Glock in my mouth. Fuck cancer. Cluster headaches. Imagine waking up at 2 a.m., feeling a little funny, then 15 minutes later, it feels like someone dropped a red-hot metal ball right in the middle of your skull. It hurts to breathe. It hurts to move. It hurts to sit up and go take medicine. It hurts to cry. Everything you do causes an incredible supernova of pain. Imagine a Charlie horse in your head that doesn't stop for hours. You spend hours curled up in bed in severe pain every night during your episodic period, anywhere from 3 days to 3 weeks, trying to not move or breathe. If you're lucky enough to wake up before the full onset and take medicine, then it's just a bad migraine. I've broken my collarbone, 2 ribs, and tweaked a vertebrae during a motorcycle crash. I would take that any day over a single night of cluster headaches, sciatic nerve pain, the sudden death of someone, human or otherwise, who you love. Heartbreak in general. It really can cause your heart to physically ache, just on and on and on. Unrelated to emotional anguish. Cluster headaches. Edit. I just want to say, I've read all of your replies, even though there are too many to reply to properly. I'm so sorry for every one of your losses. The pain doesn't fully go away, but I hope it gradually becomes less constant for all of you. Gout. Especially if it's a major acute attack. That shit hurts so fucking bad. It's made me want to chop my foot off with a rusty axe if that would make it feel better. Also, the systemic inflammation with gout is a bitch too. Migraines. I once tried to explain what they felt like to a friend who never gets headaches and he just looked at me like I was from another planet. Kidney stone. Dry socket after having a wisdom tooth removed. Abscess on the spinal cord. In my case it was the L2-L3. 6 months undiagnosed. Ate the entire vertebra. Ice pick feeling migraines. An exposed tooth nerve. Slipped disc. When I had it, I couldn't even get out of bed. Worst pain I've ever experienced. The absence of pain where one knows pain should be. I broke my fibula and my collarbone and felt no pain. I felt this almost sickening absence of pain. Those who have done trauma or shock know what I'm talking about. Watching your wife be in a severe state of depression and no matter what you do, not being able to help or pull her out of it. Voiding cystothrogram. They insert a catheter up through the penis into the bladder to fill it with contrast dye and check the continuity of the urethra. Had to do it twice a year till I was 6 years old. The mere memory of it causes physical pain PTSD, and I've never had sex because I'm too afraid to let anyone near my genitals. Shoulder surgery. I had to have mine rebuilt years ago. When I asked the surgeon how much it will hurt, he said, "I'm not gonna lie. It is some of the worst pain a person can experience." Sadly, he was spot on. Trigeminal neuralgia. Transmural bowel endometriosis flaring up causing partial obstruction and a BM passing by the lesion. Death of a parent. IUD insertion. Post-adult circumcision. Morning wood with penis stitches. Gallbladder attacks before you know what they are and how to lessen them. It started as this empty hungry feeling that got worse, then morphed into a pain that makes you pray for death. I've given birth unmedicated twice and would do it a third time if my other option was a gallbladder attack. Sweats, vomiting, weird animals groans. I even said, "I'm dying, call my mommy" at one point. I don't even have one anymore and haven't in over a decade, but I still get nervous when hunger sneaks up on me and I feel empty. This one is oddly specific, but here you go. being stuck in a mental hospital and being temporarily insane, while being aware that you are insane but you can't control it. Your family comes to visit and you know they don't even recognize you. I had this one happen to me twice, thanks to allergies to different psych meds. Not fun. Endometriosis, having fingernails bend awkwardly and acutely backward in the middle, but strangely, not break. It happened to several, on both hands climbing up something. It's all I can do to keep from puking thinking about it as I write this. That is the best way to describe that unique pain. Edit. I wanted to add that the very close second place was an abscess in my gum by the root of a tooth. I can't describe that either, except that the nerve connected to it had a direct line to the devil. The fingernail thing put me into a kind of mini shock due to how far along she was at the time. My ex had to carry her miscarried baby to term. She gave birth to what can only be described as parts of our child. There are no words that can describe how I felt at the time, and it wasn't even happening to me. I can't even get myself to the level where I can imagine what she was going through. Losing someone you love. Waking up and looking into the mirror every morning. I put my dog down. I haven't been myself since. He was sick and I didn't want him to suffer. Could I have given him medicine? Maybe. Would he have gotten sicker and suffered? Most definitely. I had so much love for him that I didn't want him to keep suffering. Some people let their dogs have extreme pain. My ex-brother-in-law had 2 dogs that yelped every time they stepped down and they had massive tumors all over their body. They let them suffer like that for years. It was awful. I wouldn't be so cruel to let my boy have that kind of life. I still cry over him and miss him more than anything. I gave him his favorite meal and brushed him for a long time. He loved it, and when we went to the vet, I sang the song I always sang to him when he was upset and told him so many times I love him and that he was the goodest boy. When he died, my soul went with him. Esophageal tear. Violently vomiting frequently for days after getting your tonsils removed. I can't adequately describe how the pain felt, but the closest I could come is imagine taking a wad of sandpaper, covering it in Japalin oil, attaching it to a drill, lighting it on fire, shoving it down your throat, and then turning the drill on. It was awful in so many ways, especially with dehydration setting in, depression, death of a child, appendix rupturing, had kidney stones and more. I've been literally paralyzed by pain. Nothing compares to the absolute mind-shattering pain of a catastrophic rupture of an organ in your body. Popped like a balloon was how the doctors described it. It happened in the middle of the night at the hospital because they kept me for observation due to my other symptoms. This saved my life. I woke up screaming, and my mind hadn't even processed why yet. Then, everything is pain. I was 7 years old and almost every moment seared into my memory. The taste of gangrene as it was forced out both ends by the release of pressure into my digestive tract. Everything except when they needed me to lay flat for the ultrasound. That moment the pain spiked to a new level and the world went dark until I woke up on the way to the OR. The only way I can describe it is imagine a grenade went off inside your stomach and you were laying there trying to hold it all together. Only the grenade didn't blow you apart, it just kept going off inside you, blowing you up like a balloon. Then whatever twice that pain is, ovarian cyst, getting stabbed. And not like, I cut myself because the insert food item here slipped. I took a 4-inch folding knife in my side in my early 20s, and it was left in there until the paramedics showed up. I work in restaurants and have burned, injured myself in ways most people wouldn't think. I've broken bones, had infections, hell, I got shingles at 18. Nothing will ever compare to the feeling of a solid steel foreign object breaking through your skin and fucking around with your insides while you try not to move. even though all your entire body wants to do is convulse. Unmedicated labor UTI that has a lot of bleeding and involves peeing out blood, drop of blood. Literally, you'd want euthanasia if it persisted. More than 2 months TBH. Reliving a traumatic experience ARS, acute radiation sickness. Miscarriage. It's physical and emotional pain. And you can get diarrhea, being stuck in the middle of wanting to kill yourself but holding on to what keeps you alive. It's rare nowadays, but I used to go to bed in the worst state of sadness I couldn't even begin to describe. Giving birth.